I welcome all of you beautiful people in today's... Oh, dang! Would you look at that? Today I'll show you some interesting things behind the scenes. Optimization techniques and interesting details that you probably haven't seen. Like this starting screen with the black mountains in the background. Nothing crazy, but you know, it's still nice to fly around and just have a look. But outside of that, there really isn't too much happening. I may add that characters and enemies in general have that thing of going invincible when you're coming too close, which I don't know how to get rid of it, so I'm sorry. Some cutscenes are also pre-rendered, so it's not always possible to have a closer look at some areas. And in general, I was sometimes just too incapable to have a better look, but I'll still try my best, alright? So let's continue with the other starting screen, because there we can actually have a closer look at the characters. As you probably would have guessed, besides some scary images here and there, the characters are also rather empty. But there is one exception though. Our common variety Noppon, or Noppon in general, have multiple pre-made facial emotions hidden behind their face. So they are pretty much constantly confused, screaming, crying, all at the same time. And here you have a closer look at the core crystals. First one is from Alvis, then Linka, Glimmer, and Niall. Then you have the Orion Titan in the background, without a massive hole in his back, who's also fully rendered, even the back, which has me a bit surprised, not gonna lie. Also his mouth and all of it that you wouldn't see normally, all there. And let's not forget also the Mechono sword, with some visual glitches close up, but you know, still completely there. Switching to the pause menu, when you're getting rid of the UI, you can actually see how the background looks like, which to me looks like the inside of an eye. The irises that the characters were using, which would be a really cool detail. You can actually change the color on that background by tilting the camera into different directions, though the game doesn't like that too much.
Wow!
When it comes to the world on Ionios, the Mechono sword is just like in the starting screen. Nothing too different here. Going down on Area-Theme, you can actually make out some areas that you would see in the base game. Besides all of the polygons, you can actually see the crystals that you would see on Valak Mountain here. When we have more Ordain here, yes, that's his right arm. I still get comments saying, SparksOpus, you made a mistake, you fool. That's not his left arm SMH my head. Yeah, thank you for adding another comment of the already 1,000 existing ones, commenting on exactly that matter. The capital is unfortunately nowhere to be seen, which is slightly disappointing. When switching to daylight, the Titans look way better, so there you go. More Ardain, looking good. And so do you, Uriah. Very nice. And with that lighting, well done. There's also Magtha Forest, which is just a bunch of 2D images of trees. Nothing too crazy here. Going a bit further, we have Gaur Plains, or Mullik Meadows, you know, the place that you can also find in the base game of 3. And close to that we can find the still rather complete remains of the Titan of Gormod, which I think his actual name was Melnath. But yes, there you go. And let's not forget the head of the Bionis, the one-winged not-so-angel anymore. I may add, when it comes to stuff underground, there really isn't that much interesting to look at, which also counts for the border of the game, which behind these waterfalls, as you can see here, it's empty. The Agnian Castle, which, looking closer at it, it does have the design of Mithra in my humble opinion. With this gold and white, I can't unsee it. When it comes to Colony 9, I can't get a low poly version because of the game rendering the area every time I come close to them, so I'm not sure how to prevent that, but hey, here's the image of Colony 9 from far away. And here's an image of the whole world of Ionios. There's also Origin. I talked about the face in the connection video. If you played all of the games, you may be interested to have a look at that video. Other than that, Origin is also pretty empty. Just many rings spinning around. You know, watching these battles from far away makes me kinda realize, once again, how ridiculous these battles actually are from a size point. That Mobius could easily just clap us off the cliff, but obviously Destiny's our own, so no chance for the Mobius in this one. There you also have a closer look at the replica Monado. I have to say, it looks hella sick, man. I mean, look at that. And let's not forget the NPC standing just as epic in the background. There's also the Mobius, but just as well on here, nothing crazy going on. Just a fancy orb, which is nice to look at. Watching these cutscenes makes you realize how much work goes into optimization and just optimizing the heck out of these cutscenes. Everything is just jumping around, so there's only so much on screen as is necessary. Crazy stuff. I mean, like, look at the epic Rex scene right here.
I like your attitude, kiddo. Leave it to Uncle Rex.
It is rather anticlimactic from this perspective, don't you think?
I'll show my thing goes free.
Wanna see something crazy? Yeah. Logos who? Wanna see something else crazy? But hey, we still have Ontos, am I right? Meanwhile, Riku is still crying inside. You may think all of that leaves him unfazed, but yeah. He's a good boy down inside. But when he was mentioning Lucky 7 for the first time, he actually meant that everyone is, well, absolutely no one. And what are they cooking? Very nice. Now for something a bit more hype, because of the gameplay sequence here, you can actually fly around in the old city. It's just the middle part really, but still cool to look at it. It's also kind of funny to see the NPCs just standing menacingly there and accepting their fate. By the way, I tried double checking, the game didn't want me to. Maybe N just doesn't want me to because of how heartless he is. Even M is disappointed. So much so that she isn't even looking at him directly. Dang. And now for the best part. Morytha. Let me tell you beforehand that it's quite impressive what they did for such a small part of the game, really. The houses itself are once again rather empty. Makes sense that they are. I mean, I think the Switch would just die if that weren't the case. But there are some areas that are modeled, like where you even have doors with some numbers on them. Do they mean anything? I don't know, maybe they do. It is interesting nonetheless. Some houses have also a backyard with a massive 2D image right in front of them. Wow, what a view! In general, even if the houses are empty, it's interesting to have a look around. And look who we have here, Niall playing on the piano. When it comes to the underground area, well, there is no underground area. Who would have guessed that we can already do that? Dude, someone has to make a mod, a free cam mod. I want to fly around, just look at things. I just want to fly around and look at things. Let's go to Morytha, everyone. To the place peak fiction came into existence. Let's have a look, shall we? I swear, I am genuinely surprised at how detailed these buildings are, even though you would never come close to them anyways. There's quite a diversity in buildings too. There's that building that you very likely remember from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. By the way, it's not unusual for a company to make some tricks with 2D images, especially when things are too far away or on hardware like the Switch. Which I'll come to in a second, but for Morytha, let me tell you, this place is massive. Let's increase the speed a bit. Yes. Did you know that the surface is just a massive satellite image from someplace? With cars and everything also to be seen here. The mountains are 2D images, but just to show it to you better, look at that space. Look how massive that area is. It is ridiculous. With bridges and stuff, railways with train stations and... Man. But there's also still the elevator that goes up the beanstalk. Look at that. At this distance, the things around the elevator aren't exactly detailed, which is fine of course. But the thing itself really is. I mean, look! Even fully detailed crates and... Oh. But it still looks good. I'm shook. Looking up, it does eventually stop mid-air. It doesn't really go up that high. Not that it has to, because from our perspective way further, that's probably high enough. But yeah, my inner fan is very pleased with this place. Let's not forget the radio with the Vector logo on it. That seems to be a reference to Xenosaga, so I've heard.
Go around. Just let me know if you want seconds.
Don't mind if I do. Dang. And there, Morytha in the sunset. Story-driven Xenoblade 0 when? I wanna get reminded of Xenoblade 2 again. There you go. Yes! With that effect, dude, it's almost Xenoblade Chronicles 2 all over again. I'm sorry, I'm just having a good time here. I had a blast, as you can hear. And now to the final area, Origin. Or in some way the space station, the final place in today's video. Alpha's entrance with Elvis's voice actor saying what a farce will never get old to me, even after rewatching it for the millionth time. The visuals for this game, man. Imagine if Monolith Soft gets some more capable hardware next gen. Mr. Klaus, I don't feel so good. Or, wait, or am I really feeling it? Ah, well. The final area is, by the way, constantly present. Though, beyond these rings, there really isn't too much to explore. But as for most things on here, still really cool to look at. You can actually see the rings even before fighting Alpha. Just a nice detail I found, because I haven't seen them in my original playthrough. Before the final phase kicks in, you are trapped in the black holes, which prevents you from seeing the final area, which has another orb inside it, where all the gold dust flies around. I also did notice that Alpha has red horns on his head, like he is the devil or something. The absolute final boss, the ultimate evil, or something like that. The wings are also fun to look at, and his little footsies. That kinda reminds me of the sentient race from Warframe. Let's not forget his giant Monado. Looking good, man. Behind the giant fog beast portal is nothing, by the way. SparksOpus, you are showing a lot of nothing to us today. Well, I'm sorry for some of the things that are rather anticlimactic. Here's something a bit more interesting. Ever noticed that the Aegis Core crystal on his chest Is there present with a weird shape? I didn't. Well, here's the whole battle stage in full glory. You'll love to see it. Giga Rex blocking the swing of a sword by a literal god. And here's another cool shot. When you collectively fuse into a single Ouroboros going for the final blow, once again, kind of funny to see how the Mongols just jump around from A to B. Then we also have the area where we say goodbye to Alpha. Rewatching this scene kinda makes me emotional all over again. Still, can't believe we are here at the end of the saga. With everyone else standing here as well. It's a cool shot, that's for sure. I'm too incapable for some of that stuff, man. But don't click away just yet. There is one funny thing I still like to show you. It has been a real fun to be a god myself here and overlook this stuff from a different perspective. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video at least a little bit. Let me know through a like and comment on what your favorite part was. And just like Air right here, we'll see each other in another video. I can see it, clear as day. And I wish you guys a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye guys, have a good one.